Krishna. Hare Krishna, Sir Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Savya Saci Prabhu. Could you please send us a request, because from our side we're not able to pick up that option to go live with you. We used to be able to pick. Oh, yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is my first Instagram live, so you've put me on the rocket ship of technology. And you can see that it's not all set up.
Great.
I've got like a little thing that holds the camera, but then it's generally landscape. So yeah, to figure out a way to have it on portrait like this.
We also figure out ways. Yeah, we usually end up quite squashed in hours because we're not able to do a landscape with the iPad at least.
Ah, okay, yes.
But we can see you and we can hear you, so I guess that's good.
That's okay. So I'll just hold it like this, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, it's funny. So thank you so much. Huh?
It's possible if you give me a minute.
Sure.
Let me try to get it back.
We'll put that camera back on. So whilst Savya Saci Prabhu is setting up his screen, we'll just do a bit of an intro for him once he's busy. And welcome to everybody who's joining us this Sunday evening. Bhakti Journey is our Sunday evening program for the first time. And it's basically where we just catch up and we chat with Bhakti Yoga practitioners and find out from them what their journey in Bhakti has been and what basically they find is inspiring and how it is that they're actually carrying out their spiritual practice. So Savya Saci Prabhu, many of us have actually met in person, and he actually joined the temple in 2002. So for 18 years, he's been formally practicing Bhakti Yoga, and he's also studied in Mayapur. His Bhakti Shastri degree is Bhakti Shastri, and he's Bhakti by Bhav. He's also currently quite active in the Pretoria in Hatfield, and he's he's got Bhagavatam classes that's happening every single morning. So if you have a Facebook account, you can also join them as well. He's also involved with a new program called Wake Up South Africa, and he's also on the list for Sannyas, which is the renounced order. So hopefully he can share a bit about that with us as well. So thank you so much, Savya Saci Prabhu. We have some of our students joining us as well. Tabang, it's so good to see you online. Welcome. So with that, I think if you're ready, Prabhu, and you're set up, then I guess we can start. Yeah. You're good.
You can see me and everything. Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit. It's a little like digital, but I guess it's okay. we can hear, so that's.
You can hear. Okay, good.
So to start with, would you like to share with us how it is that you actually came to practice Bhakti?
Okay. Interesting journey for me. At the time, I was at the Pretoria Technikon. Now it's called the Tshwane University of Technology. I was a seeker, and I was looking to make sense of what life on earth was about. And especially I was concerned as a tertiary student about the next phase of life, which is the working world. I was studying, looking at people who are already in the job world and looking at my parents and relatives and just seeing that it doesn't seem like there's a unique type of happiness that they are attaining by being situated in the job world. So as a young person, I wanted to know who out there can tell me how to be happy. So I saw a poster on one of the walls as I was walking with my friends on campus. And would you believe it? It was Bhakti Yoga Society. And at the time, you know, that yoga caught my eye. I told my friends, hey, we should check this out. And everyone was excited about that. And I think that their sessions were happening on Tuesday. So we decided to skip some classes and go to the arts camp to go and attend this program. And we got there, and then we saw the devotees, you know, dressed as a monk as I am now. And literally we ran up to them. We wanted to know, what are you guys all about? Because at the time, anyone who had an alternate lifestyle was someone attractive, because I was thinking they must know something about what we should do for, you know, greater fulfillment in life. So they told us they were hosting the Bhakti Yoga sessions. So as young men, we did what we had to do at the arts campus, and we headed over to their session. So that was how I came in contact with Bhakti. My initial contact was through that university program at the arts campus in 2002, my good fortune.
So cool to know that you came through Bhakti Yoga.
Actually, a lot of the people we've spoken to have actually come, you know, through the university programs actually. So it's quite encouraging to us as well from our side.
It's an important platform, yeah.
I remember you once saying, Savya, that it was with a group of you, right? It wasn't just you alone. I remember that there was just, I don't know, I recall from some other interaction, that there was a bunch of really far out people, all seekers, all coming around the same time. I mean, okay, you're a seeker, but like, wasn't it strange? What was it that like made you want to like, okay, yeah, I want to do this too? That from that initial interaction in 2002 to like, yeah, this is what I want to do with my life, you know.
Yeah, it was a big group of us. We had our own movement. It was called African Renaissance Association. I remember AFRA. And our whole mandate was that we wanted to create a revolution in consciousness. Can you believe that? And we were thinking, while we're at the university, we should create alliances so that we can pair up and use our skills to build our own sort of empires, so that we're not just looking out for employment out there, but we can sort of serve each other with the different skills we get. And part of that was also a very strong Black consciousness movement, BCO. And we were looking at the injustices and feeling that, you know, Black people need to unite to help each other to rise above the challenges. And we were facing them at the Technikon, like an Afrikaner-dominated sort of Technikon, and sometimes we were getting classes in the Afrikaans language, and they didn't even check if you understood or not. So that spirit of trying to create a better future for for yourself and those that look like you was driving that. But when we met, actually, the devotees, it was such a cosmopolitan group that, you know, issues of race just sort of fell away from me because I saw everyone represented there. And of course, they were shocked. You know, we came in maybe 25 deep to that program. And it was just like,
Oh my God. It wasn't
like
intending, it was
where
taking over.
And in the weeks to come, you know, each person would tell their friends, and it sort of became like very trendy to attend, you know, the Bhakti Yoga. And yeah, those were so beautiful, beautiful days because just discovering wisdom about how to manage your life and how to see the world beyond just what is being sold to you via your traditional media outlets and, you know, television. So it came at the right time, perfect timing. So, you know, nothing from it was too weird. It was just all like a journey where we're discovering new things. If you don't understand it, put it aside, you'll figure it out later, you know. Yeah. I remember the first session we came to, one of the devotees who was speaking there, his name is Arjuna Das, very tall Afrikaans background devotee. And he was so calm, and he had this hanging smile as he spoke. And, you know, coming from that background, we're thinking, this Afrikaans guy, why is he so chill? You know, some of the guys were trying to be suspicious, you know, what's he trying to sell? And he spoke, and I remember him saying, we're not this body. We're the soul within this body. This body is just like garments. You wear it, and then once it's old and torn, you throw the garment away. So it's the same thing happens to the body. And really light bulb moment for me then, you know. It just hit, oh, yes. So we're the soul. And that's why, you know, I could resonate with people from all cultures because I guess I was picking up on that essential unifying principle that we're all spiritual beings. And that's why I was struggling to fully embrace just the identity based on I'm just this body and so I should be lamenting always about the misfortunes that came with this birth. But so that day, I think my resolve was fixed. No, I want to hear more about what these people have to say. Yeah.
That's really
And one thing about those sessions, first you're hearing what they're saying, then after that there was the low song. We chanted Hare Krishna. I thought, okay, this is cool. We went around in circles. And then after that, they had a meal for us. And they said they serve vegetarian food. And, you know, coming from also a touch of the Rastafarian background, you know, they call it Aital, blessed food. And also being someone who was on the path of herbs, we were ready for that. So I thought, you know, these guys are they really for me, you know. Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
And
so yeah, so you make your connection there, and you know, and you find this really out there path at a time of life where how the more out there it is, the better. So I can understand how it's appealing. But then a monk, like, you know, I remember thinking, like, before, like, encountering Bhakti, do monks exist? Like, you know, like, are there some sort of, like, do they really live in the world? I mean, do you live in a hut or a cave somewhere? Like, you know, that somehow has Wi-Fi signal? I don't know. Tell us, why a monk, and how does that help your path of Bhakti?
I think when I started associating with them, and I mean, you come to the programs, there's a lot of things on your mind as a student, and philosophy can be thick in the beginning, but I distinctly remember one of the preachers, His Grace Shivandavan Prabhu. He was saying some things which were just, okay, everything is happening. And then he said, you know, and some of us have been celibates for like 6 years. And I heard that, you know, that was just like for me, what? Why? You know, it was immediate like a protest. He's young man, he's intelligent, he's handsome. Why celibacy? But it really piqued my curiosity and caught my attention. And when I went back to prayers, I was thinking that he must have something better than sex. Otherwise, why give up on the highlights, you know? And so I thought that I must find out about what type of pleasure or knowledge or lifestyle they have that allows them this freedom, because they really looked like they had none of these worries that I had and people I knew had. You know, simple guys, very clean, very full of wisdom. So, and just hearing that, then I wanted to ask. So it became personal for me to find out, like, what's their secret? What do they know that we don't know? So I think that's how the door started opening to considering becoming a monk. I went to the temple. They had a Wednesday program, and yeah, in the evenings. And when I got to the temple, I thought I'd be reserved this time, you know, just check them out, make sure they're not like some type of cult or this or the other, you know. And I really liked the environment, you know. It was just so calm, and I could see, okay, all of them live here together. So then I could understand, okay, if I was with them, this is where I'd stay, and these are the people that live. So I thought I could do this, you know. Anyway, I'll come weekends, check it out, and I'd definitely get back to my life. But you know, it never happened.
Evidently.
Never happened. But it took some time though. I'd come over weekends and try to go back. Then it became a thing of when the bus was going to campus, I'd get on a bus to Hedgefield to come to class, Barberton class.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so, of course, you know, it's been like a process, like a journey towards, you know, coming into that practice. What did you find? Did you find it some things a bit challenging to adapt to living in a temple environment, or was it just all smooth sailing?
No, it was some adjusting. But as I say, you know, one can get through so much difficulties in the company of friends or in good company. So initially, this morning program was was difficult because having to get up that early. Students, we sleep like midnight. That's like really early, and so one was in that habit of late nights, and then coming to the temple means waking up early. So that was a bit of a challenge, but I wasn't alone, you know, as the novices who were learning, there was a few of us. So that cushioned my own struggles, seeing that the others were also, they were also going through the same. Yeah, I would say that, and and one part of it was being just thrown back in front of all the people who know you. You know, I joined in Pretoria, in this very temple I'm in now. And so immediately I was on the streets of Pretoria. I was in the city, either hiring out or distributing books. the Harinam singing in the streets, that was fine. For me, it was just like, to the people, ha ha, we're having a good time and you people are busy working like robots. But to then stop people and try to present the philosophy and them think that, hey, are you now, is this like your new business? You're selling books, and you have to explain that it's not just about making money. And but that immediately gave me, I would say, confidence. It helped me to sort of accept my new identity as a devotee, because now, it wasn't my private thing. It was right back in front of all who knew me. And so I had to very quickly choose and know which side I'm on. And so it helped me just sort of identify with this being a devotee. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I guess there was no dual life for you. You never
No.
chose getting for it.
It was
I can appreciate
doing thing, you're like that, and next thing you're like this. And it's just,
Are you an extremist, Savya? Is that by nature? It's like all enough.
no, I think if I believe something is true and has to be done, then I'm in. And also, I'm not too affected by my peers, what they're up to, because I feel I have to live my life myself. So what I understand to be beneficial to me, I have to honor that. And so I think that helped me, that although I had so many, you could say, friends and associates, but I could just understand that I was on my own journey and I had to do good by me first. Yeah.
That's such an important point. I think students also would really identify with that, right? I mean, you got put on the streets and you had to accept it's either I accept this identity or I don't accept this identity, but it is a tough thing when you're like, students have to sometimes go home and their family is not really inclined to bhakti, or like your friends think you start freaking out, like what are you doing? And to have that sense of self-confidence and maybe even self-acceptance to like I need to do what's best for me is quite something.
Yeah, because we come from a strong social links. And each community where you come from, I mean, from home, your circle of friends, at the uni, there's some sort of common identity and lifestyle that we all embrace in that group. And then all of a sudden, you've got this thing that nobody really understands what it is. And now all of a sudden, you're ready to change your life around it. You're ready to skip certain, trends that you were following with your friends or family. You're changing your diet. So they become very suspicious, like what got a hold of you, And so they'll do everything to try to win you back. Even like, employ a lot of emotional, like blackmail.
Yeah.
Even parents threaten to disown you, cut off, their support. So it takes really a lot to break away from that. And at that time, you're like really depending on the devotees, because of that experience of Krishna consciousness, so strong and so true and deep for you, that you just press on. But as time goes, if you haven't gotten a very solid base, your why is not strong enough in terms of your philosophy, understanding what the teachings of the movement are. Yeah, it can be a challenge, because the rest of the people where you are trying to break away from will always be there in your life, sort of. That's the base community. So for me, my good fortune, I'd say, is that I moved into an ashram. I moved into a temple where there was a community of Hare Krishnas. And so I had that support day in, day out. But if you're like a day student, that you get that taste and you understand it and you love it, as soon as you leave that group, then everyone else is just doubting it, shooting it down, and you know, it's quite a challenge. Yeah.
Before we forget, Abir Munilal really wants to
Yeah.
know, he's asked twice now, how old you are. It's an important question to him.
I guess he's probably wondering, he's so young. He's
Yeah.
a monk. How is this possible?
I'm on my 40th year.
There you go, Abir. I can see gasp shock looks popping up.
It's like, no, it can't be possible.
Who was asking?
Abir.
Abir.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's one of our regulars.
okay, Abir. Don't worry, you'll also get to 40. It's available for everyone.
Yeah.
I think on that same point that you were describing, like for students and for anybody that's coming to the practice of bhakti or spiritual practices, that you're making a break away from everything that you do know, like the connections and relationships that you do have. To some degree, you're shifting away from that into something else. And previously, that lifestyle that you had was it may have been bringing you some kind of happiness, that relationships or whatever. And then now it's like you're fully putting your faith into the practice, into a spiritual practice, right? And it's like it's taking a leap of faith into the unknown. And how did you find, what was it about the practice of bhakti, the philosophy, the community, or what was it about it that gave you that leap of faith, that you could just invest yourself completely and just make that shift?
One statement was very interesting for me and sort of just made sense. The founder of the Hare Krishna movement, Srila Prabhupada, he said that, the elephants in the jungles, they eat whatever kilograms of food daily, and they don't have a job, and they're not particularly like devoted to God with deep prayers, but there's an arrangement that is made for their maintenance of body and soul. And Papa said, so if we work for God, if we work for Krishna, then why wouldn't Krishna take care of his servant? And then on the ground, the community I joined, everything was available for them. I didn't see any scarcity. And I think at that time, every Wednesday or Thursday, there was some truck pulling up one of these 1-ton bakis or whatever. And our service was to come and offload, food grains, oils, flowers. And so you could see practically that the Lord was supplying the basic necessities. So over the years, I've noticed that if we want to create that faith in someone, so we have to take care. So the devotees, by taking care of people, then they can have their faith that God will take care. Because then God takes care through his representatives. Yeah, so that was going on where I joined. I saw that. And I guess I also understood that death was coming. And I could understand.
See? And this was in 2002, right?
Yeah, I thought like that. I always thought that, so we're going to work hard and do all these things, but then when you die, what was it all for? Because then you leave it behind. I always had that. So then I thought, when I heard spiritual life goes beyond that, you gain something that death takes away. So I thought, okay, that's a way to beat the system, you know, because in my coming up to Krishna consciousness, we were investigating how the world is run. And you could see that there's a system that is running throughout the world, which is just keeping people as cogs in a machine to keep the economy turning. And so everyone follows that type of programming. And I was thinking that how to escape this. And so Krishna answered it by bringing this community of devotees that it's not a matter of dropping out of society and just becoming a bum, but you drop out of their ideas of where you will really be happy and satisfied, and you use everything that the system provides to destroy the system.
Master plan.
So,
It sounds like a master plan.
so I was thinking like that. Okay, everything belongs to Krishna. It belongs to God. So yeah, let us all have access to those resources and use them in His service, and also try to inspire others not to just work for this machine that won't deliver.
Abir is
Yeah, Abir's a fan.
Abir replied. I mean, I guess he was really happy that Rukmini asked how your age. So he responded. He's saying, "Prabhu, for your age, you are vibrant, cool, in a devotee way, nice, and your lectures are also vibrant and expressing, and full of nectar. I highly recommend Prabhu's YouTube channel, Savya the monk."
Oh, YouTube channel, Abhi. I have to get back to YouTube. I put it on pause for Kartik. Yeah, maybe I'll do something again on YouTube. In one sense, it's a nice platform, but it's really jam-packed, and you need to put in a lot of extra time to work on quality of video. I think I'm happy to just come as I am, go live, and you know. So I've been sort of Facebook. I thought I could reach more people there, but yes, I'll try to get back to YouTube starting next week.
It's something though, you know, the thing I miss most, because like now, you know, in this whole situation, we get so much of out there things, you know, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, but I just miss Savya sitting down with a group of people and like connecting, you know, like where they're at, where you're at, you know, what's the next. I miss that, I have to say, because sometimes it does feel like in the ether, they're all out there somewhere.
No, it's true. I've been fortunate here in Pretoria. We just went ahead and tried to, come over. Let the devotees come through, because it's been a life since, you know, March. We're just staring at the computer, looking at the camera, and you speak, you know, on Zoom calls. Sometimes you cannot see if what you're saying to people is landing, how are they reacting to it. Are they even there behind the video? That's like, oh.
Because you see boxes, like where the video's off and there's just a picture there. It's like you wonder, are they there?
Yeah, nothing beats that personal interaction. We really are being starved of that. And I think a lot of people are feeling that, as you are expressing, you know, different energy to be in a room with people.
Yeah. I wanted to ask something about ashram, because I feel like, yeah, it's something of not as prominent as it has been, you know, an idea for a young person to live in a completely spiritual setting and just step out of the circuit, you know, coming from Janavi's new single, you know, Rise, you break that circuit, you know, and is it a practical approach? You know, in the world that we're living in, usually when we meet students on campus, I would also say, like, you know, you take Bhakti yoga, you work it in your life, you work it into in your life, and sort of you can do what you need to do. You may still be in the system, but But then you add this bhakti aspect, and it will slowly change from within. However, even giving that advice, personally, I feel like there's something different that you get when even for a short amount of time you make that commitment to practice something fully, even if it's not like a lifestyle change where you're like permanently a monk or something, but just that short experience. So, do you think that's something that can be alive in the day and the times that we live in and has value?
Yes, yes. I've seen that in New Zealand. Devamrita Maharaj, they have what they call contemporary Vedic ashrams. It's sort of like a halfway house between the full monastic experience that, you know, students can come and get in on a contract. Maybe I'll spend a month, I'll spend 6 months, still continuing with whatever I'm pursuing with studies. Some people are already in a job setting, but they are exposed to that environment where everyone is striving to improve themselves spiritually. So then they have some regulated practice in their mornings, some guaranteed meal, vegetarian, cooked with consciousness that is, you know, spiritually saturated. So as you mentioned, that experience goes a long way. You can really sort of make a clear distinction between life on the outside and life under the bhakti setting. And so then you have a chance to choose. Because when you're practicing on your own out there, it's always so mixed and always so trying and tiring, and you don't have good enough association. So you never really get to see what it is to live, you know, with bhakti yoga. So if we have such places where it's adjusted, it's not full core, you know, like temple, monastery, but then it has all the elements, then I think we could help people sort of get a taste for a spiritual lifestyle.
Yeah, yeah, I have to agree.
I'm seeing that here in Pretoria,
Yeah.
that, you know, it's a preaching center. That's how it was conceived. And when I came through, of course, as a preaching center, it's operating fully like a temple, a monastery. But because there was good enough population living like that, you could sort of get into it. Now, it's a situation where you have to work with individuals who come, and they're generally not coming to become monks. And though they resonate with Krishna consciousness, they like the vibe, they accept the teachings, but they are where they're at in terms of their challenges in material existence. So we have to then customize the program for them, you know, really try to deal with them as individuals. So I think such centers where we don't expect that high standard immediately from individuals allows us to really administer
Yeah.
one-on-one to people's needs, and then they can feel a connection and acceptance, and they can experience their steps to spiritual recovery.
Yeah. This is such an I've been talking about. It's like, for like how much there's a need, for people to have a space where they can grow into spiritual, higher spiritual platforms, so it's easier for them to reach, and how important that is. Do you feel they still exist in this time, in this age, this sort of place we're in? People who will be brave enough to step into that sort of program.
Yes, yes, it does exist. Basically, people are social, and they just want people who get them, people who have an ear for them, and that they could have a good laugh and enjoy. So if we have a friend who is involved with Bhakti, then chances are when they're going for that, you may accompany them. And then you want to just see what is it about the place, the people that attracts you. And if the place is welcoming, warm, and you feel at ease, you don't feel like you stick out too much, chances are you'll come back. And so from that association, and it doesn't have to be immediately trying to convince you of higher truths, but just it's just a place you like the people, and so you come back, and then naturally by their association, your life is changing and is getting deeper. We see that. I'm sure you've seen some of at the universities. You get people to come, and I was one of those that devotees told me that they didn't give me a shot. They thought it would never work out. But it happens like that if you get that exposure and you like the environment, you'll keep coming and you'll get traction. So
those are the ones that last, Savya. The ones that the people think may not.
so others we have to give them survival kits. We have to train them how to create that sacred space in their own places. So we find students or devotees who learn how to prepare their meals and offer them, who are equipped to make some sort of altar in their place, some sacred space, and who understand the value of congregating every now and then with those who are strong. They get a bit of a chance. Yeah, prasadam. If you can have a good strong line to prasadam.
Good sign of Bhakti health. Okay, I have one burning question. I want to know, in your experience in Bhakti, how much would you attribute your success in Bhakti to knowledge as opposed to people?
Knowledge as opposed to people?
As in, okay, maybe I should. Let me try and frame my words properly. What to come this far or to be committed for this long on the path of Bhakti? Do you think that what's brought you here is more the understanding of the transcendental knowledge as opposed to the association of people, which has built your faith more?
Yes. I think I had caught it before, but I didn't want to commit. Maybe I was off. Okay, yeah. It's a combination of both, but mainly it's the people. It's all based on relationships, If you appreciate and you feel appreciated and you experience some love from someone that you admire, then things that you wouldn't even do for yourself, you will try to do to please someone who has shown you affection and has had faith in you and saw something more in you than you saw in yourself. Yeah. So the sacrifices of different devotees, seeing their commitment also to our spiritual master, the founder Acharya of the movement, Srila Prabhupada, gives you a bit more than just your conviction in the philosophy. I think the relationship part of it, and you just need one or two persons who really touch your heart, that for them, you go over mountains. So I would say like that. The people. Then the knowledge just backs you up, but and also beyond that, I think your personal relationship with the sustenance, which is the holy name. I think, and again, it's relationship, right? The holy name is Krishna directly, and if you maintain that relationship, and it's just, this is my treasure, and it's like your heartbeat, your chest.
Sure.
You always feel secure, you know. You feel no matter what happens, you know. I know when I come before Krishna and I try, I feel clear and I feel secure, and yeah. So people and relationships more, knowledge just backs up, and then your relationship with Krishna in the holy name for me has just like, what else then, you know? After if I don't chant Hare Krishna, what else am I going to do? Because nothing else gives the kick, you know. Nothing else hits the spot. So it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I got my next Instagram post. The holy name is my heartbeat. Savya Monk. I'm telling it in advance. I'm taking the post.
Like that. What else am I gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah, although I have to say, side comment, it's sometimes very easy to be in the Bhakti movement and forget that being a Hare Krishna is about chanting Hare Krishna. It can come to that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, you have one.
I have one question.
Go.
So like what you've been describing was also like our session last week with Mahaprabhu. He was describing, you know, this sense of community within the Bhakti practice that actually gives people that, you know, that internal sense of security where they actually feel like they can be in the space and they can actually grow. So from like, that's like a community perspective, but as individuals, how would you say one could actually develop that sort of mood in actually offering it to others? I think part of it would also be, you know, that we recognize what we've actually received, and through that gratitude we also express it. But what else would you say could help us develop that sense of creating that environment for people?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, it's what you are mentioning, that what you've experienced, if you've had a good experience and you can recognize what the devotees have done for you, what the community has provided you, and then you want to make that available for the next person, so that when they come, they can feel somewhat like how you felt, being warmly received or taken care of. So, you know, to be grateful always for the gifts of Krishna consciousness and just the gifts of the holy name, prasadam, the scriptures, it helps you to want to share it. And one way is whatever it is that makes you very happy in Krishna consciousness, then it's very easy to try to share that, because you're not reaching for some unknown. It's what's bubbling within you, and people can pick up on that. So everyone has to just take one or two things that they personally love and really get into them, and that as soon as someone meets you, when you interact based on those things, they'll be convinced. They can see you're into it. You know, you're not selling me something that you're not also sampling. So look at what you like, and then try to offer that to people. And that's, in one sense, spiritual care, to give someone access to the spiritual technology. And so you'll be able to give them that aspect which easily resonates with you and that you are most happy with. Yeah, so I think like that. Whatever you've got, you can share.
Cool. No, Abir. I think we should take
Oh,
Abir's question. Okay, so Abir, I mean, I think we're reaching close to an hour, but Abir has been asking for kirtan. He really wants to hear you sing kirtan. Do we have time though?
It's 10 to. I think we have about 10 minutes.
Okay.
So
So I don't know. How do you feel about that, Savya?
I guess it would just be 1 or 2 months.
Do you?
That I do a bit of a kirtan.
Yeah. Abir requested one.
Okay, just give me 2 seconds.
Oh, we're getting instruments as well.
Maybe I'll do Mudanga. I noticed that the drum carries better than the harmonium.
Oh,
If I try to do the harmonium, then yeah, it doesn't go through so much.
Back to basics.
Maybe that's just zoom. Anyway. Namo Vishupara Krishna Pista Bhutile Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saci Gauravan Pachayani Vishesha Srimali Vasyata Desatarani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama Abir Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare.
He loves it.
Whoa.
I tried to put in as much mantras as I could.
Thank
Time.
you. We noticed you took it all 4 levels and back crescendo also.
Everybody loved it. Everybody's appreciated that you sang.
Yeah. Well, I
Well,
think
we have a very unique opportunity and such great good fortune to be allowed to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. It's a special mantra because it comprises the most intimate personal names of the Supreme Being. And in this age, we can scream it with or without voice. Krishna is happy. And by that chanting, then we are being reinstated in our relationship of real happiness. And so this is what we are about. You know, we chant Hare Krishna, we distribute the holy name. And any chance to do some chanting is like somebody loves you and cares for you. And they tell you chant Hare Krishna.
oh, that's pretty cool. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. These sessions are always so enlivening. I think we do it for ourselves.
I know it's more.
but also we can see there's a following.
Yeah, we've got quite a few people here. Actually, Black Lotus, that's Lamise is here from Cape Town. Tirumala from Joburg. Bonola, one of our students. She's also like really into everything. She was very excited that you're speaking this evening.
I'm sure she was dancing.
I'm
sure she was.
She's super excited and she's joined us. Abir is here as well. I saw a few other names up before. Sayan is also here. She's a yoga teacher. So, and Suravi was here. So we're really happy to everybody that joined.
Yeah.
I think.
And Vibhushi Tiny Prabhu's who popped in early.
Really,
Just to check everything is in order. Huh?
Tirumala had a comment. She said, "Thank you for the very inspiring session. Really appreciate all the wisdom you have shared with us, Savya Prabhu, and thank you, Ruku and Sacha."
I guess that's us. Ruku and Sacha.
For arranging these sessions. I look forward to them. So at least people are feeling enlivened and enriched. We definitely are.
Yeah, I know you had a crazy Zoom day because I was in most of the places that you were at. So I'm grateful that you took the time to still hang out with us in the evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thank you to the two of you for hosting the session. And thank you to Bhakti Yoga Society, Durban. Keep trying to share. That's how we get more. And so thank you for giving me a chance also to be with you. Hare Rama.
So I guess with that, it's the end of our session. So thank you so much for making time to spend with us this evening. So to our viewers, if you like, the video will be up on our Instagram page for a short while, and then we're gonna shift it off to our YouTube channel. So you can subscribe to our channel because it just allows more people to view it, even if they may not have an Instagram account. So we'll be shifting it. So with Lamise is asking, are there plans for BYS yoga retreat in the near future?
That's a tough question, Lance, but as soon as we know, you'll be the first one to know.
So with that,
okay.
Thank you so
Hare
much,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Bye, everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Very well.